Chapter 17 Lavore, 4th of May, 1211. Blood and smoke. Who could have ever imagined how utterly intertwined those two could become in the mind? I can't remember how one might smell without the other. Blood and smoke everywhere. My robes are ruined, stained through with both grime and viscera, and my face is streaked with mud and the precious cargo of so many veins that lie open now, spilling their essence into a broken ruin. The ruin of this once magnificent castle, and of our dream of a purer, more noble Christianity. Both lie shattered. My heart is too. Time is limited, almost up, not just for the poor broken souls I tend to as I rush round the walls, seeking to give them solace before they pass, no, but for us all. This, here, is the ending. My heart knows it. True, there are still good people left, still other perfects out there to carry on the faith, but as we fall here, when we fall here, a large part of our faith will fall too, will die too. I stumble over an arm half outstretched, fingers rigidly grasping out towards something in death. I know not what for. Rescue? Mercy? Beyond my knowing. My feet struggle to regain their footing, slipping in the mess that spreads outwards from the crumbled stonework lying on top of the body, and I know I'm unable to check myself. Sheer exhaustion is pulling me downwards. Before I can collapse, though, an arm is under mine, around my shoulders, catching me. Easy now, Paul. You pushed too hard. A voice, more familiar almost than my own now, breathes a little warmth back into my chest. Brother Ben, it looks like you're not done saving me from myself just yet, even if you wear the black robes now. My best friend, now my peer. A proud, if bitter moment the night before when I performed the consolamentum, the ritual confirming him as a perfect. Now our souls are inseparably linked. It would be a weight on my shoulders that, if I am to sin, then his perfection will be undone, if I expected to live much beyond this day. Perhaps something of my soul's despair is in my face, for Ben lifts me back to my feet, looks at me with a passion that speaks of pure faith and hope. I envy him that. My faith is not damaged, but I find myself entirely without hope. My brother, and I know he means it in more of a sense than just a religious one, don't despair. Nisitas has returned to us. Perhaps we stand a chance still. Papa Nisitas. Yes. There is a stranger arriving. A good man, all the way from Constantinople, who helped set the very tenets of our form of Christianity many years ago. That done, he disappeared, without warning or explanation. Now, decades later, he's returned at our moment of despair, here in our stronghold, filled with 400 good people. Many have seen it as a sign, an omen that we can yet prevail against the brutal Frankish forces and their terrible crusade brought down upon us for heresy. Franks that will see us burn, all of us perfects. Despite that, my fellow black robes hold out hope because of this miraculous return. And yet, I find myself unnerved by him. Despite the warnings of that peculiar Israelite rabbi when we passed the Foix, I have not since encountered man, woman, or creature with that same strange glow Isaac held. Not until I saw Nisitas. There's a reddish aura that I catch from the corner of my eye when he swoops from one group to another, urging them to stand fast in their faith, encouraging others to take the consolamentum and pick up the black robes to join the ranks of the perfect, even though it will mean a death sentence for them when the army at the gate breaks through. I avoid him, uncertain, unnerved, but I know Ben has found motivation in his words, certainly enough to have begged me to raise him up to perfect last night, against my own wishes. For now, I'll take the comforts of Ben's companionship. He lends me more than just a steadying arm. Through it, he lends me strength. Together, the two of us hurry back and forth across the cracked terrain, seeking to bring aid to those we can and peace to those we can't. The pain and misery are a miasma hanging over the keep thicker than any morning fog can, and it seeps deep into my soul. All we ever wanted was to live in peace, to do no harm to man or beast, only to worship the good God in the way we believed fitting. Around me, crushed and dismembered carcasses, the wailing of friends and loved ones left behind, the weighted grief that drags at my heart, all mark the price paid for daring to carry such a dream. And the stench of blood and smoke. As we slip and stumble towards the main gate, a cry rises in front of us. I thought the level of noise almost unbearable before, the sound of death and the keening of those standing witness. Now, though, it goes to another level. The clash of metal, the chaos of cries, shouts, demands, pain, and victorious roars is only accentuated by the rumble of collapsing stone. Ben's face whitens, and I know mine must do the same. It can mean but one thing. The wall is breached. Lavore is falling. It's only a matter of time now, until they round us up and dispatch us to the fire. I see the draw of Ben's lip, the realization of our ending coming. He clings to my arm, and I feel his fear in his trembling. Still, I don't doubt he'll stand resolute right to the bitter end. My sole wish is that he doesn't have to. Then, behind him, I spot something. A small side gate, a servant's entry, cracks open. As I watch, scullery maids and serving boys slip away quietly. Very wise. We good people will die, burned as heretics. The nobles will be ransomed, but the poor others, the servants, the maids, those who've done naught but their duty to their lord, they are the ones who'll bear the worst excesses of a drunken, triumphant mob later on tonight. I push at Ben's shoulder, stirring him to action, pointing at the doorway. Come, Ben, let's away, now! His face, already pale, loses even more colour until he's completely washed out, almost translucent with shock. Are you now a coward then, Paul, to flee our fellows and leave them to their doom? Not a coward. I stress every word, pleading, trying to make him understand. A staunch believer. I'll not see our faith falter here. Let us away where we can still spread the good word. To die a martyr here helps not our cause. I can see the doubt, the uncertainty rife on his features, but I don't have time to persuade him. Instead, I push him, shoving his shoulder, corralling him into action and towards freedom. As we approach, I hear a sound, a weak cry, almost indistinguishable. Turning my head, casting about, searching for the cause, I see a young girl, decked in the scullery's outfit, her leg trapped by a fallen beam. A stable boy comes rushing past, sobbing, "Sorry!" And I push Ben to him so that they tangle arms. "Take care of him!" I yell. And let each decide for themselves that I speak of the other. I linger a moment to make sure they're gone through the gate, then turn to the trapped young girl. Lifting the beam is no simple task. It's wedged by a fallen lump of the stonework thick as my leg and made of sturdy solid oak. I get my hands beneath it and heave, but nothing moves. This may be beyond me. That my last righteous act might be frittered away, meaningless, is almost more than I can bear. Closing my eyes, I dig deep inside, crying out to the good God to give me this, to aid me to save this innocent girl. There, in my heart, in my guts, I feel something stirring, a force or energy that swirls and lifts. It floods out to my limbs, my legs and arms, and slowly, ever so slowly, the beam lifts upwards. Out! I grunt through gritted teeth. Go! The girl realizes her legs freed, the trap released, and she scrambles up, gone through the gate. Not a moment too soon. As I release the beam, soldiers pour in through that side just as the main forces flood around the corner of the main hall. Now, it is I who am in the trap, caught. I close my eyes to offer a last prayer to the good God to guide my soul homewards, but something hits me behind my right ear like a thunderbolt, and the next moment I know nothing. When I open my eyes again, I'm not alone, though the good God knows I wish I was. All my fellow good people, all the other perfects of our faith who sheltered here in one of our last bastions are sat together, or lying in my case, and that of a few others who've clearly been equally mistreated. There's more than a few blooded rags being clutched to the back of heads, more than a few bruises already visible, sprawling across faces, painting them in greens and blues. Considering not a one of these good people would have lifted a hand either in aggression or defense, it speaks to the violent nature of the arriving crusaders. 400. Perhaps a half of all the good people left. A little less, I think, but still a good part of the whole collective of perfects. We're inside the main hall, but the huge double doors, metal-barred oak work, are thrown open. Even were they not, I'd have felt the heat. It's rippling through the hall, the waves pouring off, rolling, roiling from the pyre they've built. There's no respite. While I'm staring at the fire, a jab comes to my side, the blunt end of a pike. It takes a second, sharper blow to get me up. The strike to my head must have been harder than I first believed. For one moment, I'm feeling the billowing hot air and seeing the flickering hungry flames waiting to swallow us, and the next, they seem to thin, become ghost-like, and I imagine I see the plain wood below, stacked neat like a stage for a troubadour to sing upon. It all flickers with an otherworldly glow, burgundy like the blood that stains the courtyard floor on each flag I can see. Then, the next moment, the fire's back, ready to swallow us down. The second jab got me to my feet, but it takes a third to make me move forward. It's strange. I know I'm going to my death, but it doesn't seem real. Perhaps it's this unnatural illusion that keeps coming and going from the bonfire, this result of my head injury. Perhaps it is a part of the human condition, a natural instinct to refute our ending right until the last moment. Whatever it is, my attention wanders, straying away everywhere, going along the tumbled chunks of stone and mortar, bigger than a cart and horse, that litter the open air. The smell of bodies, the buzz of flies, blood and smoke. I've a chance, just a moment, to be glad for one thing. That Benedict, my most loyal friend, student and saviour, is not here to burn with me. While I know his faith is unbending, still it does my poor heart good that I could save him in the end. Maybe I'm about to escape this world. Perhaps that is, after all, what we should aim for, to escape those physical bonds. But he might have a little while longer to enjoy the many wonders and pleasures this prison can hold. And then a flash. Claret, lightning from a tower, up high on a parapet to the right. It seems to shine down for a split second on the pyre, connecting to it, illuminating it. The whole assemblage is swallowed in the bright red glow. Then it's gone, and the flames come again, and we're close. So damnably close that I can feel the hairs on my face singeing my beard, crisping from the proximity. And oh, by the good God, what will this do to my skin? What will this feel like? Tears fall, but they're gone, evaporating, wisping off from the intense wall. Then a last pike blow strikes me in the back, and I stumble forwards and into the flames-hungry moors, except as I fall, screaming, it seems as though there's a wall of ruby red light that I'm crossing over, and on the other side is naught but cool, damp wood and fresh evening air. Then I'm falling, but not just physically. A deep, heavy darkness sweeps me up like sleep, but powered up by draughts of potions beyond any an alchemist could mix, and my eyes close of their own accord. Then I'm gone, though whether to the flames or to something else, I cannot say. Only that I am gone.